Entering the wormhole in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a nice trip.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Andy Savage back with another episode of the Wormhole podcast, and we are here again with my boy Pinky. What's happening, dog?
What up, y'all? Good to be back. It's been a while, Andy. What's up with that?
I know we've been on a little bit of a hiatus, just because of work. I've had 60-hour weeks scheduled since Thanksgiving, so just have not had the time. So y'all are gonna get all that content made up for this week. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. We're gonna try to at least
Try to.
make sure everybody knows life just ain't easy. Ain't easy. No, life ain't
The voice of an angel. It's like a mixture between Fergie and Jesus.
easy. Don't start that Jesus shit, man.
Oh no, that's from Step Brothers. You ever see that?
Oh, is that right?
Like he's got the voice of an angel.
I've seen that movie a couple times. Yes, I memorized all the words like that.
I think I've seen that shit probably like
1,000 times. Dude, everybody's watched that movie. Fucking Pineapple Express was more my jam.
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
Good Step Brothers.
Zach always gets the snickle frets.
Definitely. Fucking square ass.
He always gets the snickle frets. Hey man, you got any Percocets? He's the guy that was looking for Percocets.
Man, dude, I can't believe it. I'm like actually forgetting parts of that movie trying to think about it. It's been a long time. It's been years and years since I watched it. But when I was watching it, it was like just like so many people I know, it was like an everyday thing. I'd watch it like once a day or every other day for a while.
That and Talladega Nights I would watch all the time. That movie's just hilarious.
That was a good one too, but that's another. I never really got obsessive about that one, like how I about Pineapple Express. Pineapple Express was pretty special.
Seth Rogen. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
It just sucks, man, because I was a big Seth Rogen and James Franco fan, and then when James Franco got like those like sexual allegations against him, and then Seth Rogen became just a huge fucking liberal. And
wow, I'm glad I don't follow any of that shit. That is very disappointing to hear all that.
What do they say? Never meet your idols, man. I've never met them, but like you got to separate the art from the artist and like appreciate being funny. Because I don't give a fuck, liberal, conservative, whatever. But like, don't make politics your personality. Because as soon as you make politics your personality, I'm done with you.
Yeah, but you know what? Like how you said, like you gotta separate the art from the artist, or the that facet of whatever their personality is from their actual art. Because I still can appreciate anybody's art regardless of if they're a good person or a bad person. But however, if they're bad enough of a person, I think that you should boycott.
Well,
like
how bad does a person need to get?
Don't make them successful and rich.
I mean, everybody like shits on Diddy, right? And as they should, right? I mean, not down with drugging people and fucking making them do things against their will for power or for whatever you can offer these people, clout.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, I don't want to touch on Michael Jackson too much because like obviously there's a lot of people that'll defend him and be like, oh, he never did nothing with them kids and all that shit. But like, I mean, the fact is that info was out there. You know what I mean? So you got to tread lightly on that. Like, I can't, maybe this is just prison Andy giving it my opinion, but like, I can't sign on to anybody that's even remotely had them kind of allegations because like, nah, you know what I mean? Like you're done. You're done. I can't fucking associate with you. I can't fuck with you at all because you're tainted. You know what I mean? Like once you're tainted with that kind of a reputation, like that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Um.
I mean, you could beat like
Yeah.
there's so many people that can beat like sexual assault allegations or like rape allegations against grown people, right? Mike Tyson, he had a fucking rape allegation against him and he's huge now. You know, but I think didn't Kobe rape somebody? I think Kobe raped somebody and was on the fucking. But you know, you got Black Mamba murals and shit up. I mean, there's so many people that like had rape allegations that still get fucked with. But like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
kids,
Yeah. I think about half of the time it's probably true
yeah, you
too.
can buy
There
your way
was
out of
rape and
it.
stuff like that. However, like there's definitely times that I see it's just people taking advantage of a situation and like just because they actually met the person, they can prove that they actually spent time with this person, that there's like a period in time where like there no recording and stuff like that. You can say fucking anything happened at that time. And if they're rich enough, it's just and you feel like you have enough of a story here to like prove that this actually happened, you're going to take advantage of that situation. The things that people will do for fucking money, dude. Money is it fucking makes people stupid. It makes people loopy. It makes them try to do crazy freaking things. And yeah, like okay, you don't really want to discuss the Michael Jackson thing in particular. Like I just see that like it is possible and somewhat common for people to mis get misjudged and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Like somebody spun a story, but and they just happen to have things in such a line that it made it look exactly this way. And they can convince, the masses that this is what happens. You completely ruin your character. And
right.
you didn't do fucking anything wrong. What did you do to deserve this? To be completely cast out in society and shit like that, to be looked down upon as like that kind of piece of shit, the worst type of piece of shit. Like most people do not have fucking pedophiles backs and shit like that. And the next step would be like sexual offenders. People who rape and take sex and shit like that. It's totally ugly ass thing to be unacceptable, ruin your character, but you didn't do nothing. What you did wrong was spend some time with the wrong fucking person. Like how the fuck could you have known? Like you gotta give a motherfucker the benefit of the doubt. And fucking kids too, man. I have been in situations when I was younger watching little kids completely craft a fucking idea, a situation, something that happened in their head, and tell adults about it and say, this is what happened. But I was there, as a little kid, like, fuck, this kid's completely making this shit up,
Oh yeah,
like, this ain't real. He just can add in enough details that it seems like it really fucking happened. You're like, oh, well, a little kid doesn't have an imagination like that. Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, kids can make shit out of thin fucking air and ruin you with some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, gotta give a motherfucker the benefit of the doubt. However, like, if it's one of those situations where it was proven in court, like, you are a red dot motherfucker,
yeah,
yes. 100% you're a piece of shit because, it takes proof. They did, like, the DNA swab, and shit like that, the rape kit and all that shit, and that proved that it was this motherfucker. He raped the kid or the woman or whatever. Then yeah, you are a proven piece of shit. But allegations, I'll still fuck with you. Poor Michael Jackson, man. That's how I feel about Michael Jackson. He's one of those poor motherfuckers, and yeah, he was goofy. Most men cannot wrap their head around the idea of hanging out with little kids all the fucking time and having them and spending such time with them close, sleeping in the same bed with them, and all that stuff like that. That's goofy. It's fucking weird. So you got to think like, his intentions had to have been, like some goofy shit, but you're trying to understand the psychology of somebody who grew up in a way completely fucking different than you did, completely different than most people did, with his dad fucking cracking the whip on his ass, fucking molding him into a superstar and all that shit. You know, that was his life. He missed out on his childhood completely. You know, he had to pretty much be an adult, work like he had a job, put hours and hours and hours and his blood, sweat, and tears into one fucking craft. You know, just like how we do as adults. Completely missed out on his childhood. So like, I don't think the guy did some fucking goofy shit, sexual shit like that. He was obviously fucked in the head. The stuff that he did to his face and going white and all that stuff, blaming it on vitiligo and saying that like, oh no, like I didn't do any of this. None of this is plastic surgery. All goofy ass shit. Kind of proves that he's a liar. You know that he can like lie about shit. But honestly, like
I don't know, man. Like as a dad, especially,
you wouldn't be cool with him, your kid hanging out with Michael Jackson.
okay,
I
first
totally
off,
fucking get it. There's a
I
chance that
would
yeah, he might
never
sleep in the
ever
same bed.
even consider letting my kid go hang out with some just grown man and sleep in the same bed as him.
Right. Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's some crazy shit that parents were just like, "Oh, here you go, Billy. Let's go. You can go with Michael Jackson for the night." Like,
Because humans are stupid fucking
yo,
apes, man. And
yo,
all they
you're
saw was a
literally
dollar sign. Like, oh, he's a
if
rich
he
motherfucker. Maybe we'll
was
get into the right networks.
a pedophile, you just served him your kid's fucking butthole on a silver platter. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like,
Right.
what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like
You can really
never,
only blame yourself as the parent for putting him in a situation like that, for sure.
never.
If some shit goes down.
Like I feel like it's so weird, especially like with Macaulay Culkin, right? Like I don't think I ever seen Macaulay Culkin's parents. I just
I've seen pictures of them,
I
but I
don't
never,
I
yeah,
never even seen that. Like I feel like he's just been like a kid out there on his own this whole time in
this whole fucking
Hollywood.
thing.
He was home alone and they found him and brought him to Hollywood, like he's pretty
I mean,
hey, he's
freaking
cool
Macaulay
now.
Culkin spent a lot of time with Michael Jackson.
And
He
he
was,
advocated saying Michael wasn't on no bullshit.
yeah, no, yeah, he's just like, y'all just leave him alone. Like,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was
like
I mean,
he's eccentric as fuck, but he
if
wasn't
you're
a
gonna be
fucking,
100, he's a weird fucking dude, but he
yeah.
wasn't a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know though. He's a
It takes a fucking, you gotta be a special kind of fucking person to be a pedophile. It doesn't mean that everybody who's super fucking goofy and stuff like that is a pedophile. It's just like, yeah, you might be goofy. You might get the side eye from most people and shit like that for things that you do, the way that you present yourself to the world and shit like that. But to put possible pedophile on that, like, that's not.
yeah, that's harsh.
There's people who have kids and families and normal jobs and shit like that and seem like the completely most normal fucking people in society who turn out to be fucking pedophiles and shit. I watched that Chris Hansen shit and stuff like that. I said about half of the people who come in there, you'd never think that they're fucking pedophiles and shit. Especially when you find out about their life, that they got kids and a wife and shit like that. It's just like, you would never fucking think. They're normal ass fucking dudes. Serial killers and all that stuff too, it applies to,
Oh
like
yeah,
there's plenty of them that are just, you'd never know unless you knew.
I fantasize about that all the time. What would it be like to be?
To be a serial killer. I get it.
I've never
I
thought
get
of
it.
like the actual act of like a murder. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't interest me. But like the fantasizing about like, oh man, I know I could probably get away with it. I wouldn't I never would do it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stop talking about that before I incriminate myself here. Clearly, I've done nothing. I have no idea. I have no ambitions or ideas to move forward with it. But like everybody's you can't tell me you didn't fantasize about crime. You were like, oh, I'll fucking rob that bank or some shit. Like everybody has. You've seen enough movies and TV shows. You glorify this shit in your
Like
brain.
when I was a kid, I was a little bit more wild, and when I had those thoughts, I'd actually act on 'em, like stealing and shit like that.
Oh yeah, stealing.
But nowadays, I still get like like if I were a different person, I'd fucking snatch that shit or something like that. Like seeing like the thugs and stuff with like the chains around their neck, like all that gold and diamonds and stuff like that. It's just like, why would you do that? Like, like if I were a street person, and like that, my living was stealing and shit like that, like I would be, if I seen you on the street, fucking come up out
Oh
of like a
yeah.
motherfucker, hundreds of thousands of fucking dollars, which is a whip.
Oh yeah.
Nobody even keeps that kind of money in their fucking purse and shit like that. Nobody keeps that kind of money in their wallet or in their fucking pants, but your dumbass is gonna wear all that around your neck, and all it takes is money. Yay!
Bro, the
Bye bye.
blue collar workers especially are the biggest vicks. It's terrible, right? Because I'm not a thief. Like I stole when I was a teenager because that's how I got by. You know, as a runaway teenager, it's not as easy to come across money as you would think. You know what I mean? You can't really work. You don't have no IDs. You don't have nothing. You can't go get your social security card and birth certificate from a house you just ran away from. You're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
can't, and then you just can't get jobs like that. You're limited on hours. You wouldn't be able to survive off of any income you were able to get. So you gotta do what you gotta fucking do. And I went to prison and I did my time and I learned from all my bullshit, and that's why I've been a productive member of society for the last fucking 11 years. Uh, but prior to, let me tell you about these blue collar Vicks, and I still see it all the time. Motherfuckers constantly will leave their wallets on their dashboards. Like they hit the fucking drive through, and it's always the blue collar guys because they're hitting them fucking drive throughs on their work breaks. So they leave their shit on the dash. And I can't tell you how
I
many
never
times
seen
I've rode
that.
up on somebody or
That's
in their
wild.
either on the dash or on their center console, and you can just fucking snatch the wallet right up. And them boys deal with cash because a lot of them have cocaine habits, and you might even be able to find drugs.
I mean, doing some silly shit like that, dumb motherfuckers probably leave the keys in the car too,
Oh
man. You just
yeah,
freaking see that shit, probably just immediately assume, oh, the keys
yeah,
are
but I don't.
probably
I've never,
in.
you know,
Hop in.
15, 20 years ago. Like I'm 38 now. So and when I was misbehaving was literally over 20 years ago at this point. You know what I'm saying? 22 years ago to be exact was the last time I was really misbehaving, was when I was like 16. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, because I went from 16 until I was 27. So, uh,
Everybody out there, lock your doors, lock your cars. Don't leave valuable shit within sight inside your car and stuff like that.
no.
Because you know what? Like,
Cars are a little safer now because of like GPSs and all that kind of shit. Like the onboard computers and shit. Like it's not so easy to be stealing the cars, but the
mhm.
stuff inside of them.
The stuff inside, yeah, smash. It's all glass, freaking. Usually, tools that make it easy is smashing windows and make it quiet and stuff like that. Spark plug,
Oh yeah.
freaking ceramic, take out the window nice and quiet. The thing is, y'all, a lot of criminals, I've heard it from criminals' mouths, is they feel like they're doing something good when they rob you. They feel like they're teaching you a lesson that you shouldn't leave your stuff unlocked, that you shouldn't leave your valuables in your car. Next time you'll think about it and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that. You think that later on they're going to be thinking about, oh, the family I screwed and stuff like that. They've got a little mind trick for themselves,
Because even
so they feel like they're doing you a service by doing that, because you're now throughout the rest of your life you'll have that lesson that you learned.
even if you're in the shits with
Lock your
them,
shit, y'all.
oh yeah, definitely lock your
Your
shit.
front door, even if you live in a good neighborhood, like not every criminal is super dumb that they can only rob from their own neighborhood. They'll go to the richer neighborhoods, the people with the money that they know keep their freaking doors unlocked, and go rob your ass. And your neighbors who are under the impression, oh, who leave their doors unlocked as well, are under the impression, oh, people don't get robbed around here. When you're getting robbed, they're just going to assume, oh, the movers, they must be selling some stuff or something. It's just like, lock your doors, y'all, even if you live in a good neighborhood. It's silly. It's a lesson that you don't want to learn the hard way. There's so many ways you can protect yourself. Use surge protectors, y'all. Lock your doors and use surge protectors. You don't want. All it takes is strike a lightning to screw up like your PlayStation, your TV, all your electronics and shit.
I was gonna say, you think that you would think that you're safe, especially people like, you know, I mean, I grew up in a pretty fucking shitty area, uh, urban area, not shitty, but it's not fucking super nice either. Um, but like, you gotta think people that we know that would break into cars, right? The low lifes that we know that do break into cars and go car
I
shopping.
was one of them at one point.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I would
Fucking
steal cars, but I would break into
break into them
cars.
and take the valuables inside of it and all that bullshit. But the
Hmm.
people that we know that would do that, like they would literally, like, you don't see the person that you're stealing from. You know what I mean? You just see a car that had valuables in it and you take it. And as you were saying, like they feel like they're doing something good. Like, yeah, literally, they feel like they're robbing from a yuppie or some shit. And like, like we say, you would be like, I am not no fucking yuppie, and I'm not no fucking wealthy person or none of that shit. But like, compared to a motherfucker that's got to steal from a car, like, yeah, we are actually, you know, to put some perspective on personal finances and position in life, like,
As an adult, yeah, that's why our mentality changes from that being a kid and being able to do that kind of shit, steal from people. Because, like, when you're doing it as a kid, you don't understand the back end, the other side, and shit like that. As an adult, you understand how you're screwing people over. And if you're a compassionate person, you know, you don't treat people the way you don't want to be
right,
treated. You don't do that kind of shit. You just grow up.
a real
You,
grown
if
up
if
develop.
you actually do something bad, you feel the weight of that bad deed. You know that other perspective and shit. And you're like, some people have to learn it that way. They grow up and then they steal one more time and then they get that icky feeling like never again, never again.
Yeah, you developed a
You know?
moral compass. You
Yeah,
you actually you have a, but
you have a
that's
heart.
all, and that's partially like learning empathy and taught behavior,
Mhm.
but that also can be attributed to like your prefrontal cortex fully developing now as an adult, and like your impulsive behavior doesn't happen anymore, because that's the huge thing with adolescents, especially males, because the human male prefrontal cortex doesn't stop developing until like 24 or 26 years old. For women it finishes developing around 18 or 19, but for
Mhm.
men it doesn't like literally stop developing until you're 25, 26, and that is the main uh proponent to impulse control. So
Yeah,
like once you're a little older, you don't act on impulse as bad. And if you're acting on impulse still, it's probably a mental disorder. You probably got like some bipolar or some being a little manic. That's usually those people are very impulsive in states of mania. You can't fucking help it. If anything, you're just riding the fucking dopamine high of like, ha, 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 until like it's all over and you're all burned out and it's like, oh, fuck.
yeah.
And then you gotta,
I'm sure it's a much more exciting life as a thief,
put,
to be a thief your whole life. But anybody who's a career criminal, we've all seen it time and time again, is you get caught. There's no such thing as a person who lives their entire life being a criminal. It doesn't have to hide and run from police and stuff like that. Doesn't gets to live an extravagant life and all that. That doesn't freaking happen.
yeah, any life that's outside of having to go to your 9 to 5 and then come back home and fucking do
Mhm.
dishes and wash clothes and fucking take shits and go back to fucking work again. Like anything outside of that
It all
sounds
has its
pretty
ugly side.
exciting, doesn't it?
There is no life that's like a roller coaster ride that's just like ching 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 that just keeps on going up, just keeps on going up and getting higher and higher and higher. No, the higher it goes, the further it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
Like you can live a very exciting, fun life, drugs, excitement, fucking wild ass shit all the time. And like, yeah, like your book that you're writing is a lot more interesting than, the guy who had kids and had a family, goes to the same fucking job 5 days out of the week and shit like that, spends his weekends fucking fixing up the house and shit, boring ass shit. Your book might be more exciting, but it's gonna be a lot shorter,
Yeah.
whether whether you die young or you get so wild that you're doing illegal shit all the time and you go to fucking jail for a good stint, for a good fucking bit. It's like that shit ends. There's no ride. You can't ride a high all your fucking life.
Or
That most comfortable life is that life with the kids and all that stuff. Like it's a nice gentle, ooh, not that fucking. This shit sucks.
I couldn't imagine having my dad's life. Fucking
Yeah, no, no, no,
like,
no.
oh
Like
man. What a
there are
roller
parts like
coaster
looking
ride.
at like I get it. I like that must have been fun and stuff like that. But then the downside, ugh.
Uh, yeah, man. His
Yeah.
fucking life was a roller coaster and a half.
Same with somebody else that we know who lived a very high life for a good amount of time, but is now having to sit it out. Is freaking like there's definitely parts that like watching him live his life like that I was like there was part of me that kind of envied that freedom. The I'm sure that like he did like so life was so fun. Like adrenaline rushes all the fucking time. Like that's got to be so much fun. But yeah, like the downside, the burnt out part, having to sit on the bleachers for a while, that part, ooh,
Yeah.
that part's fucking rough.
Yep. In any sense
But
of it, because whether, like you said, whether it's death, prison, or how many people that were like, they were super into drugs and they were fucking an attractive person, so they did well with the opposite sex, and now they're just fucking
mhm.
popped. Like woman or man, and they're fucking popped. Like ain't nobody fucking that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like they're it's over. Them fucking
Hey, there's people who can preserve it though. There's very few people, but there's people who can preserve it.
yeah. You could be
Stay
like
beautiful
somebody like
forever.
Johnny Depp. Fucking winning sexiest man alive in his fucking 50s, and I mean, obviously not now. Like I think he's getting
Yeah,
too
he looks
old
like an
now.
old man now.
But like,
Yeah,
but you
he's
gotta think
eight.
Pirates
He's
of the
eight.
Caribbean he was still like damn near 50 years old in that shit. 40,
Hmm.
40, 50 years old. But like dudes still be doing fucking coke and partying and fucking tons of drugs.
Yeah, it
And
caught up to
oh
him.
yeah, it catches up to everybody.
There's women. I've seen women in their 60s and 70s who have had their kids and all that stuff who still like,
Bro,
wow, look
uh
so beautiful. Like freaking like they never had kids,
Sofia
never had
Vergara,
to work or
you know who that
anything.
is? Sofia Vergara.
Oh
She
yeah,
just
Sophia
posted a
Vergara.
fucking like
She's
swimsuit
beautiful,
photo on
beautiful.
Facebook like a few days ago, and yeah, 60 years old.
Hmm.
Fucking
Well, but I met
banging
people
still.
in person. I met people in person, like not just celebrities who are beautiful in their old age. Diet, genetics mostly, mostly genetics, but also diet and just actually caring
The
about your
Sapivia.
appearance. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Fucking yeah. I mean, I think obviously there's beauty in everyone. There's beauty in aging towards you still look young. But I think there's also beauty behind all the wrinkles and all that shit too, because it's just time. You can't beat that clock regardless, whether it's your fucking body that goes or your mind that goes or fucking liver,
Yeah.
whatever it is that goes, you
Beauty is fleeting.
can't
Yeah.
fucking beat that clock. So you can't coast off of that and think like, oh, this is gonna be my
Yeah, yeah.
incredible.
There's people who have excelled in life just because of their good looks and stuff, you know, because they're attractive people, but then they get so used to that they never developed any kind of talents, they never developed a good personality or anything because just their looks alone have gotten them women, have gotten them public attention, have gotten them, you know, a way to make a living, you know, being a model and stuff like that. But then when they get ugly, they're just all around ugly fucking
Yeah,
people, you know,
we
like
don't have it
they're
we don't have it as much here in Chicago area, but like in LA, that story
oh
is
yeah,
very
it's
fucking
Chicagoland
common.
too,
Yeah,
but
a little bit, but like in LA type shit, like that story is very, very
hmm hmm
uh and you'll see like tons of just washed up people that wanted to fucking be actors and
tons.
actresses,
Tons and tons and tons.
and
Just think
their
about
heads
that, man.
gone
Anybody
because
who thought that
they've been
they could
chasing
be
that
something
their
like
whole
that.
life.
hmm
So,
hmm
you know,
I seen a depiction of that in a Seinfeld episode when Kramer went to LA uh, to become a celebrity or whatever he thought he would be, and then there was a old woman in his apartment building out there who was like she was talking about all these like small parts that she did in movies, like pretty much a background actor and stuff like that. She just like was started making up crazy stuff like, "Oh, I was supposed to marry Mickey Rooney and he left me at the altar," and all this stuff. And like, "Don't go, Kramer. The city will eat you alive." You know, I'm sure it's so fucking common out there because anybody who thought that they could be something, you know, because they were beautiful or even just because they were talented and stuff like that, they could act, you know. They were competing with a lot of fucking people out there. You know, I'm sure that city just got flooded with beautiful people who, you know, their minds went, their looks went, they never became anything.
yeah, or they were something and then, it just fizzles out. You can't
That
you're
happens
not going to
too.
get
Yeah.
that star role forever. It's very I mean, some do, but it's rare.
Yeah.
That's why you can name the top fucking older actors and actresses on your, 10 fingers.
hmm
Name the big names, and like who's the bigger older actors that like De Niro and fucking uh
Oh, John
uh
Goodman.
yeah, John Goodman,
Uh,
uh Al Pacino, like
what's his name is still around? Bill Murray. Um, Bill
Stallone.
Murray, though, I don't think he does a whole lot of movies and stuff still.
Stallone. Stallone's still doing shit. I watched that Tulsa King show that he does on Paramount Plus.
Stallone,
That's a
yeah.
good show. That's a
Yeah, I
real good
hear that.
show. And
Yeah, my roommate was trying to get me to watch that. I was like, I don't even have that network. What is it, HBO Plus or
nah,
something?
Paramount Plus.
Oh, Paramount Plus. Yeah, I don't have that shit.
It's a good one. Trying to think of another good show that I'm not really I don't really watch TV like that no more. I haven't even been watching my comfort show.
Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah. I haven't
Me, I got it on in the background usually.
been
But yeah,
in a
dude,
minute.
I'm so surprised it's still on Netflix, man. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I remember hearing them talking about taking it off Netflix like almost a year ago, and I've just been waiting for it to happen.
That's
It's
why I
never
bought
happened.
that package on SwearNet for
Yeah.
that has all of the old
Uh-huh.
episodes, cuz like I don't pay for the membership still just cuz there's not really anything coming out that I want to
Right,
watch.
right.
But that
I
library
checked
is still
the
there.
app the other day and it wasn't working. I was like, ah, shit, no
But
more
if you were
membership.
to watch the episodes of the shows and all that in the library, those are there still. You could always watch those. Any of the
Hmm.
movies or anything.
Yeah, I think I went to watch the Leahy liquor stories.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think.
SwearNet show, so that you need the subscription.
Yeah.
But if you were to go to the My Library, where it has all of the episodes for the seasons and all of the Out of the Park and all of the specials and all that stuff, yeah, you can watch
Millions of people around the world drink alcohol. Some of those people fall within the category
all that in
of
excess.
excess. But whether you drink a little or you drink a lot, Every drop of liquor tells its own story.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Leahy. Fly,
R.I.P. dude. One of the greatest actors of all freaking
fly high
time,
with the
man.
fucking John
100%.
Dunsworth, man. Fly high with the shit hawk.
Not well known, not a well known actor at all here in the USA, but holy shit, man, that guy could freaking act.
Now,
I always wish that I could like find more of his body of work. You know, I haven't ever seen anything from him other
he's a
than Trailer
huge.
Park
What's
Boys.
crazy is he was a huge Canadian actor.
Mm.
Like
Well known in
he's a
Canada.
award winning Canadian actor.
Oh, okay.
So I honestly I think that's just our US ego. Cuz like I always think of like, oh, our Hollywood is what everyone watches, the whole planet. And that is true, but they also have their own shit. It's just that we don't watch
Hmm.
their stuff. They just watch ours. You know, just like the US
Yeah.
dollar. You know, we don't use their money, but they'll use ours.
Yep.
Even though they have their own, they'll still use ours because there's tons of other countries where you can use U.S. money and whatever their currency. You don't need to even get an exchange. They accept the
Yeah.
U.S. dollar. But
Yep. There's a lot of countries too where they learn English even though it's not their native language.
yeah,
Lots of countries like that.
well, not saying anything negative, but there's so much of that. You go to another country and you will learn the language immediately. There's so many people that'll come here and be here for 15 years and not speak a lick of English.
Don't get me started. Next.
Next. uh, it's nothing against anybody. My wife is Mexican, so it's against everybody. Everybody that
Yeah.
doesn't attempt it to learn. Like I understand if you're only here for a little bit, but if you're gonna be here for or living here, don't
Living and working
don't
here. Yeah.
don't don't assimilate. Don't try to be us, but learn the
Don't be a
language of the
burden.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't be a burden. That's all.
don't lose your culture. You know what I'm saying? Like be you.
You know. Yeah.
Keep yourself, but like just learn the language of the country you're living in because it makes life easier for you. You know? like the, motherfuckers literally like if you go to France, if you go to Italy, if you go to Japan, if you go to China, if you go anywhere and you're living there even like 6 months, you're going to try to learn as much of that language as you can so you can get by.
That's us though, man. I mean, you would think
You
so,
wouldn't
but
you
there's
wouldn't be
people
like,
who
"Okay, I'm just going to only hang out with the
have
Americans I can
no
find so that I
interest.
have somebody to talk to." And that's it.
Yeah, like for me, I've always imagined like if I wanted to move to another country, or if I wanted to even spend like like how you said like 6 months or something like that in another country. Number one is learn the language to the point where I can have a basic conversation, so I don't have to have somebody hold my hand and translate shit for me or stuff shit
Right.
like that. You know. Even though, like how I said, that a lot of other countries know English, so it's like, what the fuck's the point? I would still feel like I need to fucking learn the basics of the native language, and especially to live there and work there. Fucking forget about it.
Oh yeah.
Essential, essential. Before I even go there, not go there and then learn language. I understand that some people are like their country, they're in a bad situation, being there a few more months to learn a language and shit just ain't in the cards and shit. But at least put in a serious effort when you get there, But like the people who have no interest whatsoever in learning the language, they're just here to reap the benefits and then go back, it's just like that shit ain't right. And I'm not upset with them at all for doing this because I know that like given the opportunity for me to live a better life, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
break some laws and shit
anything.
and go to
I don't
do
give
that and shit. If I see all these people getting away with it, especially hell yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of that. No, it's just the government of the people that I'm most upset about, like with the way that they wrote the rules and
way that they
making this
handle it.
so
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
yeah.
it's never against the individual. It's against the system itself.
Yeah, make giving these things where that people can take advantage of. I feel like any country or government should be taking care of their citizens number one. before anything else, make sure that they're good. And then if there's access, funds and stuff like that, go help other countries and other people and stuff like that. But giving people from outside, an easier time, on the backs of the people who are actual citizens and belong there, that's not right. That's just fucked up, and that's the government. Bunch of
I think that they just don't handle it properly because we take in refugees from other countries all the time. And this isn't talking about like any migrations from South America and Mexico because for some reason our government treats that differently than they treat like people coming over from
Mexicans.
Somalia or something like any of those terrible countries where people are coming from. I remember when I was a kid there was a whole bunch of people that came from like Nigeria because they had that Nigerian civil war, and then a bunch of people that came from Kosovo and stuff because they had like that war in Kosovo.
Mm.
Yeah, a bunch of refugees came and like became part of the class, and it was no problem. And I don't know, but they treated. I feel like they treat everything differently, and that's not right.
Yeah, like if they're coming here for seeking asylum, yeah, it's a completely different freaking way than just trying to come here to naturalize and become a citizen.
I
That's
mean,
much more difficult. If they're coming here for seeking asylum, it feels like they get a free ride here. We throw a
technically
big old
everybody that comes here is seeking asylum in a sense.
yeah, yeah, right, right. But
Even from
on
Mexico,
paper,
even from Mexico, because like Mexico
hmm
being so corrupt with the
they're running
government
from
and
the
the
cartels and
cartels and
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everybody's seeking asylum and a better life. And all I'm saying is like if it's good for one country, it should be good for the other country. You know what I mean? If we got a way for them to do it, then they should have a way for every country to do it. And if they want to come in, that's fine, right? Like the government should just handle it better. Like how is it even possible to like that you just can't do it? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like for instance, there's other countries that if you want to become a citizen, you have to pay, right? Like some European countries, you got to like invest $100,000 into the like local government. Or
There's certain things that you can do to meet the criteria to become a citizen, but it's very
yeah, it's
difficult
very
and
difficult.
very difficult. Yeah,
But like you could all, it's very easy to get like a work visa, all that kind of stuff in
yeah.
our country. But I just
America, out of all the other countries, we make it the easiest because we support diversity, and a whole lot of other countries don't.
right,
They just want their own religions and their own beliefs and stuff like that, casting their own society. They don't want a whole lot of outside cultures and stuff, skewing their what they've become and stuff like that. But America, our big thing is the Statue of Liberty. Give us your weak, give us your hungry, give us your poor. Anybody who wants to come here for a better life. The doors open. We make it easier to become a citizen. Like with other countries, it's some crazy shit. Like I remember I was looking into what it would take to become a Russian citizen. No, 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 not Russia. German, to live in Germany, and you would have to like the easiest way would be to go to college and get a degree in a field that their country is
needs.
lacking.
Yeah,
Yeah, and as long as the unemployment rate in their country in that particular field isn't at a certain level, I forget what the percentage was, then you, with your degree and your specialty and all that, can move there and become part of that country. But it has to be in a particular field that's open to that. And the unemployment rate, like, there can't be people in that field that you're going for who are unemployed in that country. You know what I
right.
mean? Like that they need they're looking for work. You can't from another country come out and get
That
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 work.
makes that makes sense because I was actually thinking about that when we were talking as like it should be based on the unemployment rate because like if let's say the US has a, 5% or, 3% unemployment rate, whatever it may be. Uh but yet we're having jobs for immigrants. Why is there an unemployment rate then? Now that it's obviously the jobs exist. The
Mhm.
unemployment rate is based. I don't think we should feel bad for that number because if the jobs exist, they do exist. You know they exist because literally, like, how much with all this ICE bullshit that's been happening out here, like we're having so many open jobs now because like there's people that are self-deporting and shit's just getting crazy. But that literally shows you how much of the workforce was dependent on immigrants, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But then the people that are complaining about unemployment have no excuse. Like,
I feel
no,
like
there's jobs to
honestly,
get.
they've never had an
Like
excuse. Nobody's ever had the
unless
excuse of
you're,
being
I don't
unemployed.
like.
Just being a brat, like, oh, well, I was a supervisor for this long. I'll only take a supervisor job. I'm not going to take
Right.
anything less than that. Like, fucking, then you're going to sit around and be a bum for fucking a year or 2 years, you
That's why.
motherfucker.
That's
Like,
why unemployment's limited.
ain't with none of that shit. There's never been an excuse. It's never, ever, at least in my lifetime, it's never been hard to find a fucking job. They're out there. There's tons of them.
Yeah, I think that
Work at fucking McDonald's,
it's motivation. Like how motivated are you to get that money? Because
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just not cool with being unemployed. But as I'm saying, like I don't give a fuck. You do what you do. You live life how you want to live life. But you can't say that it was for lack of jobs because the jobs are there.
Yeah, the
Jobs are
jobs are there.
fucking there.
Money,
I work for
at least in my life,
I'm
it's
not gonna.
out there. It's up for grabs. All you need to do is fucking get a spine and go out there and fucking get it. Like you don't need a job. You don't even need a fucking job to get money and shit like that. And then you fucking hustle. Like
You got a
as long
butthole,
as
you can
you're
make some money.
yeah, well, you OnlyFans is like the lowest fucking level, but you can make money doing that shit, fucking degrading yourself and shit like that. There's so much ways to make money. You don't need a fucking job either, dude. Like almost anybody can be an entrepreneur. If you're a person who most of the time when you're confronted with two options, you got the right decision and the wrong decision. As long as you're not the type of person who always makes the fucking wrong decision, you'll be fucking fine. You can make money as an entrepreneur. You just need to be proactive. You can't like think, oh, I'm doing well. I'm just gonna fucking take a break and shit like that. Like we all find it within ourselves to get up 5 days out of the week. We never want to fucking get up. It sucks. We still can do that to fucking go to a job and make rich people who are already rich even richer for them to throw some fucking pennies at us so we can fucking get by. If you can find it in yourself to do it for other people, you know, do it for yourself. If you put the same amount of energy that you do in a job into a fucking business,
Oh
into
yeah.
something that makes money for you, you would make more money as long as you're not a fucking dummy. And
If you
most people, I say a lot of people are fucking dummies, but most people have enough fucking sense to make money on their own. It's being the ambition. Everybody lacks the fucking ambition, including myself. I lack the ambition as well. And plenty of cases in my life, but I have made independent money before, and it feels so much better
yeah.
making money that way than it does punching a fucking clock.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you that.
Oh yeah.
But it's just the ambition, and even I know that, that the only reason that I'm not independently wealthy and shit like that, 100%. It's not because I lack the knowledge and shit like that. I know how to make money. I know ways that I can make money. It's just the ambition to actually fucking do that. I don't care enough about money to to really want to work that fucking hard for it. And I know that that's rare. Most people don't feel that way. Most people feel like money is the most important fucking thing in the world, and you want to get as fucking much of it as possible. Me, no, no. Time. Time is the most precious thing to me, and money is somewhere towards the fucking bottom. You know, money, if as long as I'm getting enough to get by, I can pay my bills. I don't have people hounding me looking for money. I don't owe money to other people. As long as I can ride that line, I'm fucking comfortable. I'm happy. But you know, if I can find something that'll make me money that I enjoy doing, you know, then you know I think that I'll find the ambition
Yeah,
to jump into
if you
that
could become a
and
millionaire off of
becoming.
fucking smoking weed and jerking off, you'd be fucking set. You know?
Think of all like the dumb fucking
Hijacking.
Instagram channels and shit like that that they do the exact same fucking thing, whether it's a dance move or think about the guy with the lats who fucking like
Oh
flaps them like
yeah, I
wings does
seen
that
that
weird.
dork.
Think about how much money he has doing that stupid fucking thing. He has no talent. He's got some fucking muscle. That shit's obviously fucking um steroids, but
Or
you know,
the people that do the NPC shit for like the gifts you send them. They're like, an apple. Thanks. An
the
apple.
people who
Thanks.
make gifts and shit like that, make gifts and make memes and stuff like
Oh yeah.
that, them too. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars fucking doing that shit. A lot of them are fucking
Yep.
sitting well. They ain't even fucking trying, man. They probably only put a few, like at this point in their life, they probably only put a few hours a week into that fucking craft, man. And they're keeping themselves good, you
No,
know?
it's definitely the ambition thing because like even right now,
Ambition,
as I
finding your,
said
your niche,
as I
your
said
niche.
about my schedule, with like why we haven't shot in a while is I've been working 60s. And if I were to put those same 60 hours a week into like my side hustle, and actually be serious about the 60 hours, put it in like you had to put in for work into a side hustle instead, and you'd be fucking well off. Well off.
Yeah, well off.
Invest
Just
that,
growing,
in my
growing.
60 hours when I work my 10-hour shifts, you can't go sit down, you can't go slouch. I can't just grab my phone and doom scroll for an hour and a half here and there. I got to be up off my ass, standing up, working the whole time.
Yeah.
Like dedicate that same energy to yourself, and that dollar will feel
Even
a
with the
lot better.
YouTubers, even with the YouTubers and shit like that, like at this point, they're probably like living the good life. It's easy for them to do their shit, but along the way, it was a learning process. It was just like a fucking job, you know. It was just like, you know, a specialty. If you go to school to become a doctor, you know, that whole time through school is fucking rough. And it's the same thing for any content creator and shit like that too. You know, you have to learn how to film. You have to like get into a mindset to like that you need to film everything. You need to film fucking everything. You need to learn lighting. You need to learn how your cameras all work and how filming all the ins and outs of fucking filming and taking pictures and all that shit and just um, learning marketing. You have to learn fucking marketing. You have to learn fucking so much shit. But then once you got all that and you got momentum, it's fucking easy.
Yeah.
You're living a good life and you're not making. I mean, yeah. I guess you're still making Google a ton of fucking money and YouTube ton of fucking money and shit. But at the same time, you know, you get to keep a lot more of your worth, your value. You know, like you punch a clock, you're set at you're stuck at fucking 23. You know, every hour that you work $23, that's your value, that's what you're worth, you
Yep.
know. But with a craft, with your own business and shit like that, if you excel, if you do great, all that greatness that you do, it comes back to you, fucking monetary value, you know. But businesses and shit, you know, you may be their greatest fucking employee, you don't get any more money than the guy next to you who does shit work.
Yep. Yep. That's true. That's very, very, very true. But and I also think like anytime you invest in yourself, it's always going to be more fulfilling. You're always going to feel better about it. Nobody feels good about going in and working and then having to punch out. You're tired, you're burned out, whatever. When you work for yourself and you finish that job for the day and you know that you just fucking earn that good little money from whatever hustle you're doing, whether it's fucking photography or drywall, whatever it is, fucking you feel good about it.
Yeah.
and you
Hmm.
know,
You feel so much better about it. Like there's the security of punching a clock and going to a company and shit like that. Sure, as long as you get up and as long as you go there and behave yourself and do your job, like you'll always have this steady money coming in. You don't have that security with you being an entrepreneur or an investor or anything like that. You don't have that type of security. But um, there's when you make your own money though, it's like you're what was I gonna say? Like you're not companies that pay you that set rate for that amount of work you do and stuff like that. They make more money off of that task that you do
oh
than
yeah,
you
yeah,
do.
yeah, for sure.
Tons more of that money, and it's yeah. They do deserve it. I'll give them that. They do deserve it because they are the ones who built this company, built this business. Like they had to go through the turmoil of becoming a success. Nobody has it easy, even content creators. The path to success is lined on each side with fucking failures. And it's how you deal with those failures, pushing past those fucking failures, using them as a learning experience rather than like to get you down, to like as a sign of, oh, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe I should just punch a clock instead. You need to learn how to push through those barriers and shit because there will be plenty. There will be fucking plenty of times where it seems like you're not going to reach the top. You get pushed back, pushed back. Anytime you see some success, you get pushed back again. That's just the nature of the beast. That's the way it fucking works. The path to success is lined with failures.
Yep. And everybody starts from the bottom. You know,
Yeah,
I've been
mostly.
I've been really
Mostly.
fucking over like the last 2 weeks. Excuse me. It started with I seen a Slipknot video, but then I literally looked up a few other bands and stuff, and even a couple of rappers, and just watching people start from the bottom. You know, you're some of the biggest names in music started as openers. They weren't headliners to start
Yeah.
at. You know, actors, actresses started in fucking toothpaste commercials and shit. Some not everybody. Some people just got that one off. They rose to stardom instantly. Uh, but a lot of people like anybody that's polished, seeing them like perform and suck, even to like streamers and YouTubers and like seeing their first videos where it's a fucking grainy computer camera and the microphone shit and everything's not good. Um,
Yeah, their first album
it's
is just like
always good to like
really poor quality.
it's good to see that shit though because you get such a um, misguided view of real life, especially with social media. You see everybody that's fucking. You think everybody's like got the best of everything. Got them. Just start the project. Fuck what you got. Fuck trying to build like the best studio and the best anything before you start building your project. Just start. Everybody started from the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
bottom. Like if you want to get into fucking photography, you don't need the $4,000 camera to start with. Buy the $200
Mm-hmm.
one and learn it. Fuck if you want to. Now, that doesn't go for everything. If you wanted to learn guitar, like, you don't got to buy a $2,000 guitar, but don't buy like some $20 bullshit. Like at least
But you
invest in,
could.
you
You
could,
could.
but invest in something, a little bit more quality. Uh,
Mhm.
but, but yeah, I mean, in any sport, any, um, hobby, you're not going
If
to,
you go to airsoft with a Springer, you're probably not gonna have a good time, or you might have the best fucking time.
I mean, that's all shotguns are usually, or springers, and you can run shotgun only and have a great time.
Yeah, yeah. No, there have been so many times in airsoft that I've like been in the position where I gotta like use my lesser weapon, and that it turned into the greatest fucking time ever.
Sick.
Like I went with a friend and I had to borrow him my gun and I was going knife only, knife and pistol only. That was the greatest fucking I still remember every moment of that shit. That was a while ago, man, but that was the greatest fucking airsoft time ever at fucking at blast camp.
Oh, that would be sick.
Dude, it was insane, man. I was getting the coolest fucking knife kills ever, man.
I
I
feel
fucking
like
got
that.
behind the whole enemy team, and I was just coming up behind them, woof, woof, coming, and just heading towards my team, just like looking in the woods, looking at, oh, there's somebody over there coming up behind them. Because anybody you think's coming from behind, you think they're friendly and shit. You don't think nothing of it. Fucking just getting everybody, man. It was crazy.
That is awesome. I feel
Too
like
fucking
I
awesome.
feel like doing knife and pistol could be fun at Black Ops too because of like plywood town and shit.
Oh, in the town,
Yeah,
yeah.
you'd be able to just fucking slink around walls and corners and just be getting everybody. That could be fun.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
always I know it's silly because like we try to do more of the mill sim, try to keep it like real military style. But if you did more cosplay, I was like, man, doing like ninja stars and nonsense like that could be fun. It's a
It would
silent
be fun. Yeah.
silent killer like throwing knives and shit. That
Mhm.
could be fun.
I try not to take those open play games too seriously. I half of the time I don't even wear camo or anything. You know, those yeah, you can be silly with those ones, man.
I gotta get more camo again. I put on my airsoft clothes and none of that shit fit.
Nice.
Wait, I mean that's a good thing, right? The only thing that
Mhm.
sucks is because I was a heftier fella, buying the 3X combat shirt, they were really hard to find, especially real ones, because everything that's Chinese that says 3X is like an XL, and it's just not.
Dude, you can take it. The
Oh
thing
no no
is,
no!
you
I'm
can.
saying like it. The problem is you can take it in, but if there's not enough fabric there, that was the issue. Everything was too small, because I was too fat, and so the new shit that I got. I know the old shirt I can take in now because I lost the weight. But when I was
Yeah,
trying to
so
buy it originally, like I had to buy some I don't know, it was just more expensive. I couldn't get away with buying the generic Chinese shit cuz it ain't right. It
hmm.
ain't big enough. So, but no, I kind of like rather than rather than I want to get like a good set. I want to buy a nice new set that's a matching set.
I've seen some people wearing some cool ass looking shit. Like it looks like it's probably like $500 fucking
I
BDUs and
seen
shit, man.
I seen a company that makes your own camo. And you can take your like designs and turn it into camo and just change the colors and it'll be camo. And so like
Hmm.
I could do our fucking shithead logo and like turn that into
Yeah,
camo and then just have
there's
that
a
as green
company.
camo. That would be
There's a
fun.
company that I've been buying fabric from for a long time called Spoonflower, and they'll print anything on any type of fabric for you. So like if I made my own camo print, made it so it'll repeat if you scratch on it and all that shit, then they'll print it on fabric. I'm gonna do that too to make my own BDUs. I want to make some shit that's like custom as fuck. Can't get it anywhere
Yeah, that's
else.
what I would think would be cool is like having something nobody else has.
Yeah, I would use Real Tree. Oh, that's like my favorite, but I would make my own
I like
like a
Realtree.
rendition of Real Tree. Dude, that used to be my go-to fucking camo, and the situations that I was in with that camo, to just pressed up against a tree, had people like 20 feet away from me walk past me, wanting to look down like in my direction, and then still keep on walking, dude. Fucking Real Trees, the most effective camo outdoors and anything.
I always
Shit
thought it
really
would be
works.
cool to do like an urban camo, but not like urban camo what we think of that. We think of it like orange and black and yellow and all that bullshit. Like
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm talking about urban camo being like mixtures between brick and rubble and chain link and like some shrubbery type shits. You know what I mean? Like all of those different patterns, but somehow get them to mend and mix. I don't want to ask AI to do it because like that's what you would think because you don't know because that's gonna do it. But AI is gonna fuck it up. It's not gonna be what I have in my head. I can't draw it, but like almost like a prison mural. You know what I'm saying? Where it's got like the brick and chain and all
Mhm.
that, but like
Mhm.
not. not so shadowed into each other where it's actually layered. And I feel like that kind of like layering might actually be effective as camo as well, but also look cool as fuck.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of like some type of brick with like vines
Yeah,
growing up
vine,
it.
like that's what I meant by shrubbery, like vines or like some
Hmm.
greenery in there with the brick. And like I wouldn't do like straight just brick pattern. I would be like rubble type brick because you would still blend in with brick. You know, wherever you were at, you would
Wouldn't
look
it be
cool.
cool? Wouldn't it be cool too if the whole outfit had a gradient, like lower by your ankles was darker and then it got lighter as it got up to the top?
Yeah, so it would like imitate a
I
sun
think,
pattern.
yeah, yeah, imitate like how you usually see like shrubs and stuff lower, and then the higher up you go, it starts to clear and shit like that. That would also create the illusion that maybe that's not a person.
Yeah, or even have like it, as it's lightening on like becoming gradient, you'll have one area that's like shadowy still too, and it'll really not look like a person.
Yeah, yeah, you can get really fucking tricky with it, man. Nothing beats a ghillie suit, and I found that the cheaper you go with your ghillie suit, the better. Like a dude, he did a burlap sack. He just fucking put a burlap sack over himself and like some burlap pants. They made burlap pants, cheap as shit looking, half-assed, but then like put all these cuts and like stuff like that in the burlap. And then when he went to the field, he just started picking shit off of trees and stuff and shoving it through the holes until he was like fucking
Oh
full.
yeah,
And then, dude, you match the colors and everything of everything around you, man. Like nobody's gonna fucking be able to tell. No, there's nothing that's gonna seem out of place because you perfectly blend in
yeah.
with the place that you're
He
at
built it
and all
with the
that shit.
environment that was around him.
Mm-hmm.
I seen like I was talking about doing a rubble on the camo. That's where I got the idea because I seen like people doing urban ghillie suits that had like literally looks like rubble on the ghillie suit. Whereas
I haven't seen that. That's cool.
yeah, dude, it was I want to say it was like the Ukraine or Russia they were showing, and this dude, I think it was like foam, must have been like cosplay material, but like he would lay on like piles of rubble, and that was his ghillie suit. I was like, oh, dude, that's fucking
Cool.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's hard to fight an invisible enemy, man.
I was. You ever see the video of the guy in an airsoft match? He's got a foam head with a fucking hat on it. He
Yeah.
keeps on putting it up, and a sniper keeps on shooting it and shit. You can hear the sniper yelling, "I got you, motherfucker!" And he had a middle finger that he went
They had one of those foam heads with the helmet at Stables.
Did they?
But yeah, but
I don't remember
nobody
seeing
had
that.
it. Nobody did good with it. It was just like a helmet with a stick on it. But uh, uh, that's fucking great.
Dude, I think that's should even be allowed in play for sure, man, because you can do that in real fucking war.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine that in real war when it's fucking real guns and you're playing with people? Because it happens. It happens because you're already in a life or death situation, so you gotta fucking live your life to the fullest. Still, that's why you'll see them in mid battle. Dude, I was watching videos of fucking motherfuckers in the Ukraine on rooftops, literally having shootouts still, like with the military, and they got their Bluetooth speaker playing fucking techno and shit.
Yeah.
They're listening to fucking EDM, fucking shit. Fuck, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're all like well aware of their mortality and shit like that, and that there's a great chance that they'll die. So yeah, they
I
just
mean, the stories that we
to
get
the
from
very
our
end have
soldiers, even,
yeah
fucking anything from gay joking each other to fucking, you know, absolute hazing and
pranks and shit,
trolling. You know,
hazing and trolling. Yeah, tons and tons of it, dude. Fucking Nick works with under a guy who was a sergeant major in the fucking military. And he tells me all the time about like how his character is so weird because he's usually like pretty like straightforward and shit. Like he's like professional, walks a fine line, but at the same time he's cool with the pranks and shit and stuff
And
too.
that
It's just
military
like,
frat boy comes out, you know.
yeah, yeah. Nick fucking draws dicks on shit, fucking puts Kamala Harris stickers on shit, just to piss people off.
That's
Because
so
in
funny.
Indiana they're all about Trump,
Oh yeah,
but
I know. That's so funny.
yeah, he fucks with the guy, and he's cool with it too. Even though he's like a straight and narrow, he could probably write him up for it. He's like, yeah, probably just reminds him of being in the military.
Oh, probably could write him up. I work for the largest employer in the world, and man, I'd be fired instantly if I drew one dick on anything and it was like known. I'm out of there.
Hmm.
I'm out of there. I don't get away with
Man, I got away with a lot of fucking O'Reillys, dude. Like, I wouldn't steal that. Not really. There were times you have some fucking twist ties or something. Not twist ties, zip ties and shit like that. But like, dude, like fucking the phones. They were like the phones were getting old in that building. So sometimes when there were certain phones that were shitty, when people used them to page, there was all these like sounds and like feedback and shit like that. And idiots would still use these fucking phones. And me myself, I knew which phones they were, so I'd fucking avoid them. Just out of consideration, it's fucking obnoxious to have everybody have to hear that shit. But I swear, man, fucking monkey brains not like they don't even realize it. The feedback when they're fucking paged and shit like that. They go to that same phone and shit like that. I got so tired of it that one day when it was like early in the morning, not that many people there, I fucking first thing went around, grabbed every single one of those phones, pulled them out of the fucking wall, and threw them in the nearest fucking garbage can. Fucking I did the same shit with the fucking fans, because like everybody, it's hot. I need the fucking fans on. Everybody's got to have a fucking fan blowing on them. But I respected other people's areas. If I got put in a person's area, it's not my usual area, it's theirs. I'd respect them. If they have their fans on, all that, whatever. This is your area. You're the one who has to work here all day, every day. So you should be the one allowed to set it. So I had my area. Fuck the fans. I go as far as unplugging them, make it really fucking difficult for people to start them up. But people would go as far as to fucking climb the pole and fucking plug them back in and all that shit in my area. People would get sent to help in my area and shit like that. They're only going to be there for like 10, 15 minutes, but they still need the fucking fans to go up there and climb that shit. So what did I do? I broke the fucking fans. And even if you plug them in, they ain't going to fucking work. I
that.
broke that shit. And yeah, like just fucking I didn't want to deal, like the in so many things about life, I guess like, I could just deal with it, I could just endure. But nah, I
Yeah.
don't fucking live like that. I'm not gonna just endure if it's not reasonable.
Yeah.
I'll fucking take care of that business the way that I fucking need to, just make sure, certain that I can be comfortable working in my own fucking area.
Yep. Making yourself comfortable. That's that's a huge topic that you can touch on. I've seen Violent J kind of talk about it a little bit on Are You Garbage? And it's funny because like that's kind of relating to what we're talking about. But it's literally like if you're not happy at work, you're gonna be miserable. Um, but I mean, we all you do is work. Whether it's at a job or whether you're a side hustle or whatever. It doesn't matter who your master is. We're gonna fucking work, and
Yeah.
you gotta be happy during it. So anything, if you're uncomfortable, if your body hurts, whatever, you're not happy. That's why you hate your job. You're stressed out. You're not happy. If
And that's
fucking
not acceptable. It's not
no,
cool. But everybody's got it in their mind that that's just adulthood. That you have to suck up your pride and you have to fucking do what the man tells you to. You have to have somebody tell you what to do all the fucking time. And some people, like, I'm not going to say some people are useless. I'd say some people, everybody's got their talents. Everybody's got their good things to say about it, things that they're good at and shit like that. But not necessarily. necessarily can you translate those talents and stuff into something that can make you money.
Right.
So there's always a need for these jobs, these tasks that need to get fucking done. Like obviously for society, orders need to be fulfilled and stuff like that. People are fixing their cars and stuff that get them from A to B every fucking day, that are like essential to them being able to live their life. That's their lifeblood. Need their vehicles, need certain things. Of course. So there's always a need for laborers. For the small guys and stuff like that. And there's people who could be perfectly happy doing that shit, man. There's people that I've known who are young. They don't even have fucking kids and shit like that. Yet still they take all the fucking overtime that they can fucking get. They take all the hours that they can fucking get. And when they don't have work, to do, they don't know what the fuck to do with themselves. That is their hobby. That is their fun. Like there's quite a few people who would be so content with being a laborer their whole fucking life, and there ain't no shame in that whatsoever. But that's not for everybody. If you're not happy doing that same fucking job every fucking day, there's better shit out there for you.
Yep.
For sure. And there will be somebody who can take your job and enjoy it.
I mean, some people find fulfillment in coming home and taking that hot shower and feeling their muscles start to relax and kicking their boots off and
earning that beer,
earning that fucking beer.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless you. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, if you're not happy in doing what you're doing, switch it up.
There's other options.
Yep.
So many other fucking options.
Where the fuck is? Well,
I mean, if you're good at making fucking charm bracelets and shit like that, and you think that you're gonna fucking make a killing doing that shit, sorry, you're just fucking not.
Yeah, you gotta be real.
Unless you're like a paraplegic or some shit and the sweetest little dove on earth, and you can get a big following on social media and shit, and then yeah, you could probably make a good living doing it, but.
Yeah, you're fucking making them with your feet and shit because you lost your arms or were born without them or something like that. You gotta really stand out to make a living off of nonsense.
Hey, there's lots of money in pity. Lots of money in pity, man.
And for all intents and purposes, I'm a little neurodivergent. If anybody wants to invest in us,
same here. If you can't tell,
I'm pretty fucking retarded.
And you can say that word because you are.
That's right. That's our word.
The R word.
No. Oh yeah, the R word is our word.
The R word is our word. Oh man.
Homonyms.
Did we just cut this part out of the fucking podcast, man? Somebody's gonna steal that shit. The R word is our word. I love that. I would totally wear a t-shirt with that on it.
We're gonna make that. But all right, y'all. Until next time, man. It's been the Wormhole. I'll see y'all.
Peace out, y'all.